Howdy ho, my peeps, and welcome to another Goober versus Guru masking event. This is where my friend Cynthia and I, whose channel and video is linked below, when we take a little bit of time, we put on a face mask and we talk about something beautiful or something related to beauty. It doesn't have to be about your face or anything. It can be whatever strikes your fancy to talk about that day. I've previewed Cynthia's video for this week and it's very good. I hope you guys go and watch it. She actually used a subject that is very dear to my heart. So I came this close to copying her, but I thought, no, I will find my own subject, and I did. So anyway, today's face pack is this zombie pack by Skin 1004. These packs were popular a few months ago. I started seeing them maybe last year. They're the ones that have the egg protein in them, and when you put them on, they crack all over your face and make you look like a zombie, supposedly. I've used this one once before and it didn't crack and stuff. It just made my face look like it was made of glass. I mean, before washing it off. So basically what you do with this, it's a two-part process. You mix the powder in with a liquid, and then they give you a brush and you brush it on your face. You know, I really like these new face mask brushes that they're including in a lot of the face masks now. This makes it so much easier to apply. I really, really like this. So basically what you do is you mix the two parts, the liquid and the powder. Yeah, excuse me. Then you put it on your face, you know, leaving out your lips and your eyes and your hair. You leave it on for about 10 minutes and you wash it off. So if you see glitter on me, it's because I've been making Christmas ornaments all day. And I'm going to sort of ignore that. So anyhow, let's pull this puppy out and show you. This came with 8 uses. I think it was 30 bucks, something like that. It was expensive, but these are expensive, and this was a lot less expensive than the name brand one that everybody was using. I only have 6 left because I sent one to my friend Prudy Fox. She wanted to give it a try. So I happen to have another one of these brushes that came with a different set, so I sent her a brush and I sent her one of these packs to try. And Prudy, I can't remember if we talked about this or not. I know you'll probably be watching this video. I wasn't sure if you liked it or not. Can't remember. Okay, so this has the powder. So I'll open this one up. My thumb isn't working real well, so I'm having to use my other hand. Yeah, this one has the powder. So they pull the top all the way off and show you what it looks like on the inside. Now this, it's kind of weird. It's supposed to look like a syringe, sort of odd. Anyway, I'm going to very carefully cut off the tip and put everything down into this powder. Last time I did this, I spilled this junk all over the place, so I'm going to be super careful this time not to spill it. I didn't realize that it was as watery as it is. So if you happen to buy some of this, I mean, this isn't a, what do you call those? You know, videos where people pay you or give you free product. This isn't one of those. But should you happen to buy this stuff or anything like it, be careful when you cut the top off, because this just spilled everywhere the first time I used it. So, which could be why my face didn't crack. It only looked glassy. It didn't have all the activator. So anyway, you're supposed to take the brush and do what I'm doing here and mix up the activator. which is what I'm doing. And it's really kind of sticky at first, but just keep at it. Keep mixing. It has a really weird smell. It's not a bad smell, but it smells like something organic. I mean, I don't know what to say about the smell. There's like this underlying smell of, I don't know, tissue or something. I don't know how to explain this. It's a weird smell. It's not like hugely unpleasant or anything. It's just different. I mean, you know, you expect melon and flour, and you get, you know, egg and disinfectant or something. Anyway, so I'm continuing to mix this up a little bit because I want it to be nice and smooth. Okay, so now it's, let's see if I can show you. Now it's nice and smooth, although I dropped something in it. What the heck was that? Hang on. God, I'm semi-functional tonight. Oh, it was a piece of felt. Ah, of course. My whole life is felt these days. Okay, so now it's a nice creamy yellow. So here we go. Gonna go ahead and paint this stuff on. You know, my favorite masks are the ones that are peel off, because I love the pain of peeling them off. It's just so great. Grant and I are trying to decide if he should go get some ice cream tonight or not. He says he can live without it, but he'll go get it if I want it. And I said, well, I don't want to eat ice cream if you're not going to eat ice cream. So that's a lie. Of course I want to eat ice cream, whether or not he's eating ice cream. But you know, you try to recruit what are those people called? Who assist you in doing vile things? Who are they? Accomplices. You try to recruit accomplices when it comes to things like going out in the middle of the evening and buying ice cream. So I don't think I succeeded in recruiting him. This goes on very smoothly. Well, feels like you're frosting your face with icing. Feels good. And I'm not worried about this hairline stuff either. And having used it once before, I know it's not going to hurt you if it gets in your hairline. At least it didn't hurt me. Alright, so my whole face is covered. Now I'm going to come up under here. Give the chin wattles a little bit of frosting. Oh yeah. Alright, so beauty. Tonight I'm going to talk about the beauty of junk, the beauty of refuse, of landfill. My son is in Chicago right now, and he sent me a bunch of pictures, which I will insert a few here. Okay, those were pictures of this thing called the Heidelberg Project. It is sort of an art installation that started, I want to say, back in the 1980s. I could be wrong. I've been getting my dates wrong lately. It's in Detroit. Did I say Chicago?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I meant to say Detroit. Grant's, he's listening to me when I make mistakes, but he ignores the part about go get ice cream.
What was that? No, I just didn't want, that was a minor thing that we could discuss after you got done with the video.
Oh, okay.
And
I'm not supposed to be laughing, but he's making me laugh. Okay. All right.
Good luck.
I meant to say Detroit. Anyway, it's this man who came home from being in the military, I think. And he goes to his old neighborhood, and it was just, you know, the way Detroit is now. It looked like a bomb went off in the neighborhood. Derelict houses and, you know, burnt out shells of houses. And, you know, anybody who's been to Detroit or has seen the pictures knows what I'm talking about. So he started, just for the heck of it, decorating these houses and the yards. I think he started with one house that he painted a bunch of polka dots on. Then he went, I don't know where he went. I don't know if he just wandered the streets or went to the dump, but he started collecting trash, a lot of toys, stuffed toys, kids' toys, old barbecues, old furniture, tires, construction waste. I mean, you name it, he drug it all back to this neighborhood, and he started to make these art pieces. I don't know how else to explain it, but I'm going to show you another one. One of my very favorites here. Okay, that's the boat with the stuffed people in it, which I just love for some weird reason. Then my son got a lot of photos that kind of look down the street, and you can see that this isn't just one house that he has, that this man has decorated. He's decorating right in the street itself with chalk all along the sidewalks, in the yards. It's just this enveloping commentary on the beauty of junk, essentially. I'm going to insert a couple more pictures here. Okay, so that gives you an idea of what the Heidelberg Project is all about. Those of you who know me, and that's most of you, know that I am a hoarder and I love junk. I see potential in everything. My biggest struggle right now is I don't have the energy and the strength to turn that junk into art right now. In fact, that's why my world is so small. Right now, my world is this comfy rolling chair that I got when we closed down the business I used to work in. My chair was part of my settlement. And I sit in this chair and I make little ornaments. If you want to see my ornaments, go to my videos and you'll see a whole series of stuff I've done with felt making ornaments. Anyway, that's what I can do. That's the creativity I can do, is whatever I can do from sitting right here. Gone are the days when I could drag a piece of furniture home, go out there, scrub it down, strip it down, paint it, do stuff to it. I just don't have that kind of energy or strength. Not now, and maybe not ever. I don't know if it's ever going to come back. This is tightening up, by the way. You're here. I keep looking there. Sorry. God, I do that all the time. I forget to look at you. I look at me instead of looking at you. We all have that problem, though. Anyhow, so I'm not able to do that anymore. However, throughout my life, I have seen other art pieces very similar to the Heidelberg Project in Detroit that use junk or old toys or things that you would normally see in the trash can to make art. Now, one of the things I saw was back in the 1970s. I was living in Orange County. I had gone to Laguna Beach just to hang out, and there was a gallery that had a lot of alternative art. I mean, alternative art was a thing back in the 70s too. It's not like a new thing. Anyway, standing in the doorway was this life-size man. He looked like a robot, but it was a human form. It looked masculine to me for some reason. But it was made entirely out of toys that had been glued together. Barbie dolls, Legos, McDonaldland toys, baby dolls, you name it. They were somehow attached, maybe to a, there might have been like a wire armature or something, I don't know. But he somehow, I think the artist was a male, I'm not sure, somehow attached all of these toys to create this robot-looking humanoid figure. And I was just mesmerized by that thing. I got up real close to it and I'm looking at it and I'm trying to figure out where it got, connected. I think I made the gallery owner a little nervous because I was all right up close and personal looking at this thing. I tried to commit it to memory. I didn't, of course, except for in broad strokes like I'm telling you, but I just loved it. I loved the idea of taking junk and turning it into art. And then I got this idea. I haven't seen anybody do this, but it's probably out there anyway, because there's nothing new under the sun, right? But I got this idea to do something similar. And what I thought about doing was making a plexiglass or a Lexan box, just a box maybe 2 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet, maybe a cube that would be made out of clear Lexan. Then there would be another box, and this one could be plywood. It wouldn't need to be Lexan. It wouldn't need to be clear. That would nest down inside the first one. So here you've got your cube. You turn it upside down so it's open on the top, so it's a vessel. What in my mind I saw was layering the bottom with toys, all kinds of stuff, and not gluing it on, just layering it, just sitting it down there. A nice thick layer of toys about like that. Then putting the plywood box down inside the Lexan box so that there was about this much room all the way around between the Lexan and plywood box, about this much room, and then taking toys and shoving them, well, and not just toys, but in my mind I saw one at least would be just toys, shoving them down inside between the two walls of the boxes, so that once I finally was done, filling up the space, and I could put the bottom on the box. When you flip it over, that's all you would see underneath the Lexan would be toys just shoved in every possible place inside this box. So it would look as if the box itself was full of toys. But of course that inside plywood box would allow you to use a lot less toys and get the same effect. And it wouldn't be nearly as heavy either. So anyhow, I thought, man, that would be neat. And then I started thinking, well, what other junk could you shove inside a Lexan box? And I thought, well, you could do a whole series on kitchen stuff. You could do a series on somebody's messy office. You could do a series on old clothes. You could do, there are just so many things you could do. You could do a series on consumer goods, health and beauty products, kitchen products, cleaning products. All different ideas of things you could shove down in this box. And I never made one, but it's on my bucket list. I have actually saved quite a few toys over the years that I specifically wanted to use for this project. I've saved McDonaldland toys from the 1970s that I actually got when I was at McDonald's, because I'm weird and I save everything. Barbie dolls, stuffed toys, all kinds of stuff. I saved all my kids' Legos. I still have their Legos. I was doing some hopeful grandparenting, hoping that I would get grandchildren to sit on my knee and lie on the floor and play Legos with, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I might go ahead and cannibalize those Legos and stick them down into one of the toy projects. So now that is a project that I could still do. It's something you could do basically sitting. My husband could put the boxes together for me, and then I could do the arranging and all of that. And I could end up actually fulfilling this creative idea that I had so long ago. Sorry, I'm not looking at you again. So I find beauty in stuff that other people throw out. For the past 10 years, not since my mother died, not the past 3 years, but the 7 years before, one of the things I used to love to do was go junking with my son. We live in an area where people are allowed to throw their junk out on the street 2 days per year, and they do a big cleanup in the incorporated city parts of where I live. And so all the old, you know, broken down fences that they pulled down and furniture they didn't want, toilets they pulled out, you know, cheap fiberboard junk that they bought and probably never should have, old clothes, lots and lots of plastic bins, I mean, things like that. Lots and lots of toys, lots of books. People just throw this junk out on the street. Now, I used to love that time of year because you would go from neighborhood to neighborhood as the pickup schedule progressed around the town, and each neighborhood had its own sort of unique personality of junk, I guess. So I have picked up all sorts of stuff over the years. I had stopped picking up toys by the time I started doing this, but I have a lot of furniture that's come and gone, furniture that, you know, moved into the house, the dogs destroyed it, we threw it on the burn pile and brought in another couch or ottoman or table or whatever. So I've actually used so much of this stuff. I've also given a lot of it away. I had the opportunity to haul an entire house worth of furniture home from Santa Maria, California. A friend of mine was selling a house and they had staged it with all this furniture and they didn't want it, so I just hauled it home and I managed to give away most of it. Some of it I saved and some of it ended up being destroyed because it was left out in the rain. But yeah, I think my days of hauling stuff home are over, primarily because I don't have enough room to warehouse this stuff anymore. I have plenty of stuff in my own home to use. I don't need anything else. And I don't have the energy now to clean this stuff up, paint it, and then put it in the, you know, put it on Facebook for $30 or whatever people are selling that painted furniture for. Yeah, I love junk. And as a lot of you guys know, I came by this honestly. I'm going to touch my face again. Okay, we're not quite done, but you can see it's kind of, yeah, it looks, yeah, you can see the zombie skin. It's looking, this is not glass, this is zombie skin, so it must have been because I lost so much of the activator when I did the first one. That's probably why. So yeah, I'm looking pretty zombie now. Probably another couple minutes and it'll be done. I did come by this love of junk. Honestly, as a lot of you guys know, my grandfather was a garbage man. He actually owned the contract to pick up garbage in Visalia, California. He owned that for many years. Then he sold that when he was in his 50s. And he and my grandmother moved to Nevada and he bought a contract there. And he worked his garbage trucks. He had, I don't know, 2 or 3 I think 3 garbage trucks. He worked those damn trucks until he was 77 years old. I mean, getting up at 2:30 in the morning, driving down to the yard, getting all the guys together, driving the trucks up and down the alleys, picking up everybody's trash, hopping off the truck, throwing the trash in, the whole deal. They didn't have automatic or automated trash pickup back then. It was all, you know, back work. Anyway, he did that until he was 77, and he did not want to quit. He wasn't ready to quit. He was still in fine shape at 77. But my grandmother put down her foot. She said, we are done running a business. We have plenty of money. We have plenty of retirement. It's time for us to slow our roll and relax a little bit. She was tired because she ran the business while he was out on the trucks. She took care of the office, hired the receptionist, fired the receptionist because no one was ever good enough for my grandmother. And, you know, she just worked hard. Up until she was in her 50s, she worked 2 jobs, holding down the fort with the business and then also working at JCPenney. She worked at JCPenney for decades. Anyway, she and my grandfather did share a love of junk, though. So, you know, he'd pick up garbage and then he'd go to the yard, and he'd go to the dump. Then as they dumped the garbage trucks, he was right there looking through this stuff to see if there's anything that he'd missed when he picked it up in the first place. Because if he saw something good, boy, he'd squirrel that away. Over the years, he collected so much stuff, unbelievable amounts of stuff. Tons of pocket knives, jewelry, furniture, building supplies, band instruments. He even had, now I have, some incense burners that came out of the Joss houses that were run in the tunnels underneath Visalia, California, because that was what they used to call Chinatown, that area. The Chinese immigrants had come in, and this part of town was, you know, where they lived and worked and did their business, and all of these businesses were connected by an underground tunnel, and the same thing is true here in Fresno, California as well, which is a big city not far from where I'm living. And in Fresno, California, they had the same thing, these warren of tunnels that had similar sorts of artifacts to be found in them. Well, the city decided to clean up the Joss houses in Visalia and the opium dens and everything else that was down there. And so they went in, and anything that the people had left behind, because they knew it was coming, so people pulled stuff out of there, right? But anything that was left got hauled off. Well, I ended up with some of those incense burners. Very fascinating things. Big metal things with foo dogs on them, and it's all 3-dimensional. Really neat. I'll have to show you someday. So anyhow, my grandfather loved junk. My youngest son loves junk. I love junk. Grant loves junk. We see beauty in junk. We see potential in junk. We see creativity in junk. We see statements, social statements in junk. Junk is beautiful if you know how to look at it. So, on that note, I'm going to insert a few more photos from the Heidelberg project here. Okay, and now I'm going to go wash off my face and come back, and we will discuss the results. Okay, I'm back. I used warm water and one of these rough terry cloth washcloths that I've had forever, and it's gotten all gray and old looking. But I keep a clean supply of these in my bathroom, specifically for washing any sort of mask off my face, because it's so rough that you can really feel the exfoliating virtues of this stuff. I don't scrub hard and, you know, all that, but I do, you know, repeatedly rinse this out in hot water, you know, wring it out, and then I'll just put it on my face. The stuff will begin to melt a little bit, and then I start taking it off. So that's how I take off the mask. Wow. It really, they say it's a tightening mask, and you can really tell. My skin does feel tight. It doesn't feel dry though. And of course, I never believe that you can tell any difference in the way your skin looks when you do these things. I think it's more about feeling like you're pampering yourself and, you know, playing with fun brushes, all of that. So I'm not going to say that this makes any difference at all. I will say it makes me feel better when I'm done, because I feel like I've done something just for me. It doesn't have anything to do with anybody else or their needs. This was just for me. So, in case you couldn't really see the zombie effect, I'm going to insert another photo or two that I took right before I washed it off. I'm going to insert those photos here. Okay, so that's what it looked like. Yeah, so please, if you enjoy these masking videos and you like to listen to people just flap their jaw about beauty, then join me again next Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific time and 1 p.m. Mississippi time, whatever time that is. I think that's Eastern time, I'm not sure. And you can watch this, and then go ahead and click on Cynthia's video as well, and you can watch her talk about 1975, and it's a wonderful talk. So, okay, you guys, I will talk to you later. Bye.